I checked the clock for the 10th time that night. 11:47 p.m. The house was too quiet. I was babysitting two kids, Emma and Noah, while their parents were out of town for the night. They lived in this huge old house at the edge of town, the kind with creaky floors and long dark hallways that seemed to stretch forever after midnight. At first everything was normal. We watched movies. I made mac and cheese. Noah fell asleep on the couch holding a stuffed dinosaur, and Emma went upstairs around 10 after asking me a weird question. Have you ever seen the lady in the hallway? I laughed, thinking she was joking. What lady? Emma shrugged. The one that watches us at night. I remember getting chills when she said that, but I ignored it. Kids say creepy things all the time. Around midnight, the power flickered once. Then again, the TV went black. Great, I muttered. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Slow footsteps upstairs. I froze. Emma and Noah were supposed to be asleep. Emma? I called. No answer. The footsteps stopped. Then came a soft creak from the hallway above me. I swallowed hard and started up the stairs. Every step groaned under my feet. The beam from my flashlight shook in my hand as I reached the top. The hallway was empty, but at the very end of it, I saw someone standing there. A tall figure, long black hair hanging over her face. White dress, completely still. I nearly dropped my phone. Hello? The figure didn't move. Then my flashlight flickered. For 1 second, the hallway went dark. And when the light came back, she was closer. Way closer. I stumbled backwards so fast I hit the wall. Emma? I whispered, hoping somehow it was her. But then the figure tilted its head in this unnatural jerking motion. And I heard a voice, not from the hallway, right beside me. She doesn't like strangers. I spun around screaming. Emma stood there barefoot in the dark staring at me. You scared me, I shouted. Emma just pointed down the hallway. The woman was gone. I rushed Emma back into her room and locked the door behind us. Who is that? I asked. Emma looked nervous. She used to live here, she whispered. Mom says not to talk about her. That's when we heard it. A loud bang downstairs and another, cabinet slamming. Noah started crying from downstairs. I ran out of the room and sprinted down the stairs. Noah? The kitchen lights were flashing on and off. Every cabinet door was wide open. Noah stood in the middle of the room sobbing. And behind him, the woman, standing in the corner, smiling. Her eyes were completely black. I grabbed Noah and ran for the front door, but it slammed shut before I could reach it. The entire house went silent. No lights, no sound, just darkness. Then I felt cold breath on the back of my neck. A whisper. Stay. I turned around slowly. The woman was inches from my face. Her mouth stretched unnaturally wide as she pointed upstairs, and then suddenly, the porch lights turned on. The front door unlocked by itself. I didn't wait. I grabbed both kids and ran outside into the freezing morning air just as the sun started rising. We sat in my car shaking until their parents came home. When I told them everything, they went completely pale. The mom looked at the dad and whispered, she saw her too. Before they went inside, Emma looked back at me from the porch and quietly said, she usually only appears after 3 a.m. I looked at my phone. The time was 2:59. I woke up at 6:42 in the morning to the sound of my little brother screaming. The toaster is sparking again! Now in most families, that sentence would cause panic. In my family, that was considered background noise. I rolled out of bed like a tired potato and walked into the kitchen where my brother Tyler was standing on a chair wearing a bike helmet and oven mitts. Why are you dressed like a firefighter? I asked. He pointed dramatically at the toaster. Because, he whispered, it knows what it did. The toaster was smoking. My mom walked in, looked at it for 2 seconds, unplugged it and said, if it explodes before Thursday, we are not buying another one. Then she left for work like she hadn't just threatened an appliance. I should have known the day was cursed. At school, my best friend Marcus ran up to me holding a backpack that was meowing. I stopped walking. Marcus, I said slowly, why is your backpack alive? He unzipped it slightly and 2 giant orange cat eyes stared into my soul. This is Pickles, he said proudly. He gets separation anxiety. You brought a cat to school? He gets nervous alone. Bro, I get nervous alone. You don't see me in a backpack. Pickles immediately escaped. And that's how first period got delayed because a fat orange cat ran through the hallway stealing half-eaten breakfast burritos from people. Our principal, Mr. Baxter, was chasing him while yelling, stop that feline! Nobody says feline in an emergency. At one point, Pickles jumped onto a student's shoulders and the student screamed so loudly, the band room thought it was a fire drill and started marching outside while playing the Star Wars theme. Absolute chaos, but lunch? Lunch was where everything truly collapsed. Marcus sat down across from me and whispered, I have an idea. Now, whenever Marcus says those words, I immediately start preparing an apology letter. He pulled out a walkie-talkie. Why do you have that? There are 2 more. Why are there 2 more? Before he could answer, a voice crackled through the speaker. Eagle 1 has entered the cafeteria. Another voice whispered dramatically, the cheese sticks are secured. I stared at him. You made a lunch heist team? Marcus leaned closer. We're stealing the extra mozzarella sticks. I should have walked away. Instead, 10 minutes later, I was crouched behind a vending machine while Marcus army crawled across the cafeteria floor, like we were in an action movie nobody asked for. Tyler somehow appeared out of nowhere wearing the bike helmet again. Mission Control is here, he whispered. Why are you here? I skipped science. Honestly valid. Everything was going smoothly until Marcus grabbed the tray too hard and launched mozzarella sticks directly into the air. Time slowed down. One hit the ceiling, one slapped Mr. Baxter in the forehead, and one landed perfectly into a random kid's chocolate milk. The cafeteria went silent. Mr. Baxter slowly removed the mozzarella stick from his face and whispered, "Who did this?" Tyler pointed at me immediately. Betrayal. Next thing I know, we're sprinting through the hallways with Mr. Baxter chasing us, while Pickles the cat somehow joined the pursuit for no reason whatsoever. Marcus was yelling, "Go, go, go!" Tyler was screaming, "The helmet saved me!" And I tripped over a traffic cone that absolutely did not need to be indoors. Eventually we got caught, and after a long lecture about responsibility and school conduct, Mr. Baxter sighed and said something I'll never forget. "I don't get paid enough for whatever this is." Honestly, fair. The craziest part is when I got home, my mom looked at the note from school, looked at me, and asked only one question. "Did the toaster explode?" I said not yet. I used to think Tuesdays were harmless. Then Mr. Jenkins brought in a hamster named Pickles. "Class," he said proudly. "Pickles will teach us responsibility." That should have been the first warning. The second warning was when Pickles stared directly into my soul like he paid taxes. Everything was fine until lunch. I was opening my yogurt when Kevin yelled, "The hamster is gone!" The classroom exploded. Kids climbed desks. Someone screamed like we were in a dinosaur movie. One girl started crying even though she said she hated rodents yesterday. Mr. Jenkins panicked instantly. "Nobody move!" Which is impossible to say to fourth graders because suddenly everyone moved more. I spotted Pickles near the backpacks. "Guys," I whispered dramatically, "he's heading for freedom." Kevin tried to catch him with a lunch tray and accidentally slapped himself in the face. Pickles zigzagged under desks like a tiny furry race car. Then the principal walked in. At the exact same moment, Pickles climbed up her pant leg. The principal froze. The class froze. Pickles popped out near her shoulder like he was introducing himself. "Hello?" the principal whispered to nobody. Then she screamed. Chaos returned. One kid jumped into the reading corner bunker style. Mr. Jenkins attempted a heroic dive and landed directly into the recycling bin. Meanwhile, Pickles escaped again. At this point, I realized something important. Pickles wasn't lost. He was planning something. We finally cornered him near the pencil sharpener. I used my granola bar as bait. Slowly, carefully. Pickles approached. The room went silent. I held out the granola bar. Pickles sniffed it, grabbed the entire thing, and sprinted away, dragging it like a tiny criminal stealing a TV. The class lost their minds, but eventually he got tired and curled up inside someone's hoodie pocket like nothing happened. Mr. Jenkins sighed with relief. The principal adjusted her glasses and said, "Maybe next week we try a plant. Honestly, probably safer."